which, by the way, we haven't talked a lot about electric bikes lately, have we?
I guess not.
Not really.
No.
I mean, how is your e-bike? You bought one from out here?
It's banging, man.
You loving it?
I love it. Side shot, he keeps trying to take it away from me. And I bought him his own bicycle a year ago, and it's a nice one, and he wants mine because it goes fast, you know? And
yeah.
So
yeah, it's absolutely. What's the top speed on that one? You got what was the class on that one?
It's a class 3.
Yep.
So I believe it's 28 miles an hour, if I'm not mistaken. If not, I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comments.
Right on. Now that's regulated for the U.S. to be that speed, right?
So
okay. Doesn't mean it can't go more. But,
now mine is a hybrid. You can take it off road. It's got both front and rear suspension. It's got shocks on it. It's got big fat tires. Depends on the intended use. If you're going to use them in the city, you don't need all that. And here's why we bring this up, and I freaking love this. And
I do too.
I got to tell you, Jay, you will not relate to this at all, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So you're going to have to suffer through this, okay?
Okay.
While you find your bag of sucrets or whatever.
Right, sucrets, yes. So this is brought to you by sucrets.
In an attempt to spend more time with my son, and you have to meet him on their level, okay? So, there's things that I love to do that he'll do with me, but it's really more I need to find the things that he loves and then just meet him on those levels. So one of the things that we've been doing a lot together is the kids all play a game called Fortnite. Have you heard of Fortnite?
I've heard of Fortnite, yep.
And it's cool. It's a lot of fun. It's, every few weeks they introduce some new character. A lot of them are Marvel characters. They introduced for Star Wars, May the 4th, they dropped lightsabers into the game. So you can run around, with the lightsaber, people shooting at you, you're deflecting it with your lightsaber and all that.
That's
so we do this, right? So there's tanks in the game. There's vehicles in the game. My son likes to drive like said vehicle while I'm hanging out the window like blasting the bad guys, and he's like my wheelman, okay?
I love it.
So one of the things that although this is deadly serious and this is real life and war is awful. This just reminds me of things that I see happening in Fortnite. There's a Ukrainian manufacturer of e-bikes. Now, these are heavy-duty off-road e-bikes.
Right.
They can have up to a 200-mile range. And the troops there, the Ukraine soldiers, are using these e-bikes to bust tanks. They're carrying rocket-propelled launchers on their backs, on these e-bikes.
NLAWs, yeah.
And they're swift and nimble, and they can shoot through the woods, and they're taking care of business, and they're taking tanks out.
Yes, they are.
And these are foot soldiers.
Yes, this is so awesome that they're using this technology for that purpose because it's quiet. You can go unnoticed, and you can retreat very quickly.
Oh yeah,
getting out of there. So that's why this is such a useful piece of equipment, and it's just we take it for granted here. We ride them downtown or wherever on trails or whatever.
Now I've got a woods bike. Now this is basically a woods bike. It's an off-road bike. My woods bike, we just talked about this on a previous segment, is a Honda. It's a CRF. It's a 250. Mm-hmm. Now you get up super bikes that you race on tracks. They're 1,000 cc's. Okay, and that's a lot of power, and they're crazy fast, and they can accelerate crazy fast. You can't really do that in the woods. The best woods riders are not going over 20 or 30 miles an hour because of the terrain. You just can't. It's no different, Jay, than driving your Bronco on the pavement on a highway and doing 70 miles an hour. You take that off pavement and you're in the mountains with Rothmeyer, you're not going to do 70 miles an hour climbing a mountain.
No, you
Bad
can't.
things would happen, right?
Absolutely would.
So the fact that these, and this company's name is Delfast, and they're a manufacturer, they're out of Ukraine, if I understand correctly.
Yes.
They're making the e-bikes. These are fully set up for off-road, and they will do up to 50 miles an hour, which is more than enough to whip around in the woods. Because you're not going to really be able to push them, I don't think, that far. And they have a 200-mile range.
Yeah, that right there is critical. Knowing knowing the range capability of that and being able to get in and get out and get the job done, you know, I would assume that these bikes were developed for obviously other purposes, but they're being purposed for this. Who would have thought that this would have been something as, you know, to me, it's a simple piece of equipment. It's an electric bicycle that has a lot of range and it has purpose. And I got to tell you, hats off to these guys for using their heads and going, okay, working with what you got, and then
David and Goliath situation, right?
They find this little hidden gem sitting there going, okay, we can strap a rocket to the back of it and it can handle it.
Well, you know? And this is necessity is the mother of invention. As we've said many times, this has been done elsewhere in the world. New Zealand started a couple years ago. There's various places, various military forces that have tested. UBCO is another one that I've followed their e-bikes for a while. This is a completely different application. You understand heavy-duty applications. You know, this isn't a consumer commuter e-bike. These things will take a beating.
Absolutely, they will.
And it's I love it, man. It's a good use of that equipment. Again, completely silent, with the exception of whatever you're rolling over making noise as you pass over it, right?
Right. And if you look at the suspension on this thing, Keith,
yeah,
it's so well built and designed for rough terrains like that. I mean, not only are you having a reliable piece of equipment to use, but it's got to be fun to ride too in certain instances. You know, not only is Delfast part of this movement with what's going on with the military, the Ukrainian military.
Right.
They have another local Ukrainian company called Eleek, which is spelled E-L-E-E-K. They have also supplied them with silent, powerful electric motorbikes, which are used on the battlefield as well. So they're using what they can, man. So good for them. Who knew, right?
Yeah, I love it though. I mean, this is innovation. You know,
it is innovation at its best.
Yeah,
I love it. So congrats to you guys. Keep going.